Just a couple of reminders before we get started. If you will remain muted unless it is your turn to talk or your time to talk, that would be helpful. We are recording the meeting, so those that can't attend will be, able to review it, or if you want to go back and review it, Veldy will send out the link for that as well, so that we know who all is here, and Veldy can have a record of that. If you will, in the chat box, put your name and which organization you represent. That would be helpful to take roll for Veldy this morning. And we do have a very robust agenda that we're going to follow. And our guest speakers today represent our city and our county, and we are so grateful for them. And if you we'll just follow the order on the agenda as to how we speak. So whoever you follow, if you'll just, when that person finishes, if you'll just pick up where they leave off, and it should flow pretty easily this morning. So again, thanks for being with us, and we're going to kick it off with Veldy this morning, and she is going to go over our annual plan with us.
Thank you so much, Leanne, for opening us up this morning and for welcoming everyone. Again, it's an honor to be able to share with you not only highlights from our plan last year and kind of what we worked on, but also to launch our FY22 plan. I thank every one of you for being on the meeting this morning and really just being a part, continuing to be a part of our Family Connection Collaborative. Many of you have probably heard me say before, and I know we have some that are new to the collaborative and new to this particular meeting, but Family Connection, when we describe it, it is, it's not a nonprofit, it's not an organization, it's not an entity, but what we are a delegated authority through the Georgia legislature. And back in April of 2000, we were actually delegated authority to be the catalyst in this area that will identify needs facing family and children here in Morgan County, and then to encourage partnerships to help address that need. And so that was done back in April of 2000. So we have been doing this for 21 years now because of your support, and we are excited about that. So again, it's been 21 years. I do want to stop and just say that we are a line item in the Georgia state budget, and we want to thank our legislators for continuing to support us each year and continue to provide funding for us to do this work, because it's because of you we are able to move forward and continue to impact families here in Morgan County. There is a Family Connection Collaborative in every county, but every county looks different because every county looks at their county and their needs, and they build their plan around their needs. And so here in Morgan County, the way we come up with how we're going to focus on and what we're going to focus on in our community is each year we come together as a collaborative and we pull together partners to look at the data, to look at what's going on here in Morgan County. This year we met via Zoom, and each person broke out into a breakout room according to their interests, according to the focus of their organization, and according to the resources they could provide to our county. We had representatives from the city, state government, from education, from the community at large, nonprofit, youth serving. So pretty much every sector of the community was represented. And what they did was to sit down and look at the data, review the data, what was going on in Morgan County, look at the needs, and discuss the needs that were facing children and families, and then brainstorm what are we going to focus on for the next upcoming year. What I'm going to do now, just kind of show you just a little bit of the data that was looked at, so you can have an idea what we look at and how we come up with our annual plan. I want to just reemphasize that everything we do here with Morgan County Family Connection is really data driven. We look at every program we implement, every service we provide is really data driven. So the first slide I'm going to show you here is our birth to 21 profile. And what it is, this is one of the data tools provided by our state office that provides, it's actually provided through the Annie Casey Foundation, and it's our birth to 21 snapshot. And in this slide, you will see kind of, they look at what's going on with the youth and families in Morgan County from birth to 21. And what you will see here is broken down in 3 categories. We have our birth to our health safety. And the red dot, yellow dot, green dot, just briefly, so you'll know what you're looking at. The green dot means that we are doing 10% better than the state in that particular area. Yellow means we are either 10% better or 10% worse than the state. And red means that we're doing 10% worse than the state in that particular area. And so if you look, there are 3 categories here that we will just briefly look at. Health and safety, we're green in the low birth rate. In fact, we're ranked number one in Georgia, according to the most recent data as far as low birth rate. Teen births, we are green in that area as well. We're red in child abuse and neglect. And this is something that we've fluctuated in over the last few years, going up and down, but we see that we are red, meaning we're doing far worse than the state average. Under family and economic well-being, child poverty, we're in the green. This one, teens not in school and not working. If you kind of go back and look at the full data on this, it's teens that are not in school, they're not working, they're now in the military, they're just kind of here. We're in the red, we're faring 10% worse than the state in that area. Our county rate is 12.7, the state rate is 7.9. If you go into education, we see as far as 3rd grade that are proficient learners in ELA and scoring on that way on the milestone, we're in the green. There are 2 areas that we're in the yellow, which means that we're within 10%. I know that Morgan County has an excellent graduation rate, but students who graduate on time, we're at 92, and the state rate is at 83.8. So again, that yellow just means that we're within 10% of the state in that area. I want to show you this slide here because this slide will show you, this slide here will give you a comparison of where we were last year to where we are this year in the same area. And so what you will see here is some areas we're doing better than last year, some areas we are doing faring worse, and some areas we're about the same. And just wanted you to look at a comparison because this is what we do when we look at the data, kind of how are we doing, what are the trends, is what we're doing working. And so you can kind of look at this and see. The teens not in school under family economic well-being, teens not in school and not working. We see that we're doing a little bit worse in that area. Teen births under the first health and safety, we're doing much better in that area. So again, we just look at the trends too to see kind of where are we going? Are we doing better? Do we need to put some more supports and generate some more partnerships to help bring this data the way that we want it to go? But again, this is some of the data that we look at. Just quickly, we do look at trends, and I'm not going to read this to you. I can email this to you if you want to. But again, we also look at the trend data. We see here children that are absent more than 15 days in school. Over time, that has been improving. And the teens not working and not in school, we see that has been worsening over the years. The other area that we look at, hold on, I'm going to try to. Okay, in other areas that we're looking at, get it to change here. 3rd grade achieving proficient in ELA on the milestones, that has been a little change over time, but that's when you look at the 5-year, you look at back at 2015 and look at this year, but you see that there was a decrease and then it went back up. Teens birth, we see that we're improving over time. STD rates for youth, we see there's little change over time. 9th grade reported alcohol use, we see that it says little change over time. We did see that there was a dip back in 2018, I think that is, and then it went back up. So again, we look at the trends, what's going on, what's causing this? 9th grade reporting a negative perception of alcohol consumption, little change over time. Child abuse and neglect, substantiated cases worsening over time. So again, we look at the data. And once we look at the data, we come up with this plan. And this is what I'm excited to announce today, our FY22 plan. After looking at the data, what do we want to focus on as a county, as a community, as a collaborative? We are focusing on 3 particular strategies. 1, children safe and family strong, educated and working, and youth development. Under Children Safe and Family Strong is all about supporting families so that those numbers of child abuse and neglect cases can go down, and as well as making sure families have supports that they need so that their children can start school successfully and ready to start. Just a couple of things, our Bulldog early learning literacy program. It's a program that we have been working on and developing. I've actually submitted a grant for this particular program to United Way, and we should know by August 24th whether or not we received that particular grant. Our First Steps program works again with those families 0 to 5, kind of giving them a quick screen and then giving them a resource of all the county resource of things from the school system, health department, library, so that they can again have access to resources in the community. Our Educated and Working, the focus on that is to really make sure that we are pulling together to make sure we have an educated and working community. What programs are in place? How can we support those? And then the last one is youth development. Again, looking at the number of children that are students that are have programs in place that will reduce the number of kids that are missing 15 days or more, that will reduce teen pregnancy, reduce alcohol use. And a couple of those things is our teammates that we support, our back to school rally that provides information and resources to families. And just want to end by looking at the back to school rally. Again, I'm speaking kind of fast because I want to respect our 5-minute limit, but just this year we were able to give out probably about 450 backpacks stuffed with school supplies that came through donations, that came through sponsorships, that came through just our community coming together. And I do want to thank everyone for, again, making this a huge success, because even though it was held via a drive-through format, we were still able to provide 450 backpacks to our local students because of you, and you made it possible. And the last thing I just want to end with, as we go back and look at our plan and all the programs we implement, all the things we partner with, all the things that we pull together, all the collaboration that goes forth, we operate from a budget of $48,000. And so this lets you know that, as I always like to end, this lets you know that, based upon that budget, and that includes my salary, based upon that budget, you know that the only way we're able to do this, the only way we can make this happen is because of you, our partners, coming together to support us with your sponsorships, with your donations, with your in-kind support, with your resources that you make available to us. We can only do this because of you. Again, we're not a standalone nonprofit. We're not a standalone organization or entity. You, our collaborative and community partners, are the collaborative. And we're able to do this work because of you. And so I want to, again, thank you so much. I'm honored to continue to serve beside you as we continue together to improve the results for children and family here in Morgan County. I look forward to hearing all the updates from each and every one of you. And again, thank you for all of your support. Leanne?
Thank you, Veldy. That was a great report. We appreciate all the time and effort that you put into this effort. And we are going to just kick off our State of Morgan County addresses with Adam, with representing Morgan County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Veldy, for your leadership, visioning, and all the work that Family Connections does each and every day. Good morning, Morgan County and fellow collaborators. Thank you for taking time out of your schedules this morning in order to hear this important update related to the state of affairs in our amazing community. Last year, I created the catchphrase, and I ended last year in this meeting with, "We are stronger together, we are better together, and we will get through this together." And we tagged that catchphrase to a number of PSAs and updates that we did throughout the year. So here we are, 1 year later, continuing to make a difference for the families in Morgan County. The road definitely was not easy, and I can assure you that there are still some sharp curves, dips, hills, and roadblocks ahead. But together, we will continue to succeed. As this forum continues, I encourage you to pay close attention to each of our panelists today. While I do not know the particulars of what any of the panelists will share, I'm confident that each will share a story of remarkable resilience within our community. As we look forward to the year ahead, I challenge each of you to grab a sticky note or a note card or the back of a receipt and simply write the word resilient on it. Place it on your office desk, your nightstand, your refrigerator. Think about the word each and every day because it is our reality. Shortly, you'll be hearing from our County Chairman, Phillip, about all the happenings in government, in Morgan County government. But I did want to take a moment to highlight the county budget. Our FY21 budget cycle ended on June 30th, 2021. And each year I challenge our amazing team of managers, elected officials, and frontline employees to do everything possible to keep a watchful eye on their spending. I'm pleased to report that the county came in roughly 8% under budget for FY21. Our fund balance is strong, yielding at least 4 months of operating reserves. Our fiscal approach to conservative spending has allowed the county to take the rollback millage rate over the last several years, and we are pleased to announce that the Board of Commissioners recently adopted the rollback millage rate for 2021 as well. Our SPLOST and T-SPLOST revenues continue to be strong, and so much, in fact, despite the pandemic, that we've seen almost a 14% increase in sales tax revenues from FY21 over FY20. On a personal note, I'm glad that I have the opportunity to serve along each side of one of you daily. We are truly a resilient community because together we are one Morgan. And I won't take up a whole bunch of other time, turn it over to the panelists so you can hear all the good things that are going on.
Thank you, Adam. This is Bob Hughes. Again, I'm the president of the Chamber of Commerce, but I also get to serve as the Economic Development Director for Madison and Morgan County. Most of you know the latest return on the census data that came out. Morgan County has broken through the 20,000 population threshold. I think we're at 20,097. Unemployment through June, and these are normally lagging. This is the U.S. Department of Labor, shows us at about a 3.8% unemployment rate. That translates to about 9,000 employed and 353 unemployed. While that's a very, very low number, our target is that 353 and trying to find gainful employment for them and something for them to do here in Morgan County to continue bettering their lives. The Sheriff's Association, we just did a bond validation, and Robert, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder, but we went through the bond validation on August the 4th, and we went to loan closing on August the 12th. So that's behind us. They've now got the money in hand, and hopefully they're going to start construction as soon as the rain lets up. We've had a tremendous increase in small businesses looking to come to Morgan County. They're normally looking for the 10 to 20 acre range. We've had several large corporations come and look at us, but I'm really surprised at the number of small businesses. These are under 50 employees that are looking to come to Morgan County. None of them have landed. They're still looking. The biggest problem that we've got is we don't have a whole lot of industrial property in that 10 to 20 acre size. Now, we're seeing a lot of activity at Stanton Springs, which is out in Morgan County. We have several large industries that are looking at the Stanton Springs area. And that's about all I can say about that at this point in time, but you will see some activity in that area. I serve on the Workforce Development Board in Northeast Georgia, and we, through the support of Georgia Power Company and Northeast Georgia Regional Commission, did an externship program in June of this year. And we had 4 teachers that we placed in 2 different industries, two each, and gave them the opportunity to find out firsthand what it's like to work on the line and work in one of our industries. Very, very successful program, very positive results, and we will continue that next year. We're also looking at trying to increase the number of internships that we can do, where we can take some of our high school kids and put them into jobs. We're working with the Board of Education and the work-based learning coordinator there, trying to make that happen. We did have a job fair also in June. We didn't have as much turnout as I would like and what we've seen in the past. For instance, a couple of years ago when Mannington had their job fair, they were there until 8 o'clock at night. They had over 300 people coming through. This time we had maybe 12, 15 off the street. We did try to do a lot of exposure with our children in school, kids in school. But again, it's just an indication of the time. The biggest thing that I hear from my industry is we need workers. You can find that at all levels, anywhere from the entry-level jobs all the way up through the engineers. You know, it's just We're struggling to find enough workers to come in and keep the economy going. So we're trying everything we can to try to foster that and help it move forward. Lastly, we are doing a leadership Morgan program. We'll be starting in September. And this is a program that we will take some of the up and coming leaders from Morgan County and try to expose them not only to leadership skills that they might be able to pick up by using the Fanning Institute, but also an opportunity to see firsthand what goes on in our government and what goes on in our economy to help bring them up to speed. And so with that, Melody, great job, and just keep on trucking. Virgil, you're up.
Okay, how are y'all? Hope everybody's doing well. Obviously a busy morning with the weather, but we will get through. We got through that as well as we could have, I think. The start of school year has really been a good year. Obviously, we unfortunately are still dealing with the impact of COVID on our area. It's in our area, just like you're seeing in Morgan counties in our school systems. But I'm really proud of our students and our staff. We've had to ramp up some of our mitigation to kind of get through this. But this is not dissimilar to what we dealt with last year. We dealt with something kind of similar last year. Things can change and we're going to have to react and adjust accordingly. But I think we're using a very prudent and kind of realistic approach as we kind of work through this and just kind of have to get used to having this as a backdrop of what we do in the school system. But all that said, a lot to be proud of in our school system. Last year we got some scores back, and I won't bore you with some of the data. But compared to what we call our RESA or our regional school systems around us, and as well as the state of Georgia average, our students did very well on the milestones and different scores. So despite the disruption we had last year, and we didn't really rise a whole lot, but we definitely held our own and did a lot better than our peers. I think a lot of that's testament to the work of our staff and our students and our community supporting us kind of get through last year. So very proud of that. As far as the budget, like Adam was talking about, very proud of our budget. We for several years now, we have rolled back as well, and we did it again this year, in spite of the fact that the state is still withholding about a little over $700,000 to our budget. So we're still dealing with a little bit of austerity. Just for some context, since the last, 15, 20 years, the state has withheld almost $20 million from just our district in austerity. So we've dealt with that and been able to still kind of have a good budget. We have a strong fund balance like the county of about 4 months, and that for us is about $12 million. So again, that's something to be proud of in spite of all the stuff we've had to deal with in Morgan. And another sign I think of in a good way is our enrollment is rising. Back in 12 and 13 was kind of the high water mark for our school system. We were a little over 3,300 students, about 3,350. And as of yesterday, we're about 3,360. So we're back kind of in that range. We might even break that high that we had just 6 or 7 years ago. And I think a little growth, healthy growth is a good sign for our school system. And again, you're seeing other public school systems especially kind of had declining enrollment, I think, in the last year. And I think that is a testament to the school system that we have here in the great county that we have. I do want to thank Velde and Family Connections. We're very lucky to have that group and that support in our district. And, it's always great to work with all of you, and we have a great team approach, and I really appreciate that. It really, as Adam was saying, we have to work together, I think, to get through these times, and very proud. I think Morgan has done it as well, or it's better than anybody I've seen. So all in all, we're doing pretty good, and just ready to get through this next wave. And maybe this will be behind us at some point, but again, I think we're navigating this as well as we can. So I appreciate, again, all the support that everybody gives our school system. And that's all I've got. Thank you.
Good morning, Valdi. This is Philip von Hanstein. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Can you hear me? I wanted to thank you for having us right there. It's a great day to have a Zoom meeting. And let me follow up by Dr. Cole right there. We are currently doing a joint project with the school and the city as far as resurfacing the tennis courts. And the next project is going to be the pre-field. In addition to that, we've done on the T-Spot money this past year, we've resurfaced 22 miles of road and did an additional 12 miles of striping. So that's where your T-Spot money goes. It's been well spent and well received. On another note, we're doing sanitation. We've had a lot of complaints with our our dumpsters, they were completely outdated, were breaking down. So we go into a little bit different system where you cannot put the large items anymore in these dumpsters. They would have to go to the landfill. And so we have the current different system out there where you have to can only put the bags in the actual dumpster out there, and that keeps the dumpsters from clogging up. But it also adds the tonnage to it, so it saves us a good bit of money as far as the hauling. Next project we're working on, of course, is broadband. We've got the southern part of the county, which hopefully be served by the EMC, Central Georgia EMC. They're working on a project to serve everybody in their district with broadband, hopefully by the end of next year. And we recently had AT&T approach us about bringing it to the rest of the county. We're hoping that some of the state funds that are currently available through federal funds being passed down, that we might be able to get a grant with that and help AT&T provide a broadband throughout the county. We're currently working on that. I think the application has to be in by the end of the month, and hopefully we can get all this done. So we also we'd like to invite the school system to participate with that. AT&T said that we are number 15 at the very bottom of the unserved counties throughout the state. So there's still a lot of people in the county that do not have broadband, and so it would be great out there if we can work out something, with the school system, get them on board to help with this. I think that would look good from the state, and hopefully we can get something done. And last, I would like to thank our county staff and our county management. We are a great team out here. It's very successful, I think. We're getting a lot of stuff done. We are constantly improving and upgrading and bringing this community into the next century, into a better place. Again, thank you for having us, and I will pass it on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me? I can see you, Velda.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Just like to thank you, Velda, and your team for the great work that you guys do for our community and your concern for our families here in our community as well. And I would personally like to thank our city, our county, and our school system that we're able to work together in our community. I think having good partnerships with our city and county and our Board of Education, along with our law enforcement, says a whole lot for our community. And just like the county has said, the Board of Education has said, the city of Madison is fortunate that we continue to work and run our city on the budget. We just passed a $19 million budget this year, but we continue to work on the budget. Like the county, our city were able to do a millage rate rollback because we continue to work on the budget. And our balance is still strong, and we continue to work to keep that on the budget so we can maintain our city in a way that will benefit all of us. Just a few things about our city. The West Washington Street Gateway, as you know, has been on the horizon for a long time. Things that continue to progress nicely and hopefully will soon be coming to completion. Adrian is across the street from where Adrian is now, hopefully will be in use, and they'll be in that new building soon. The Easy Bottle Shop will also be opening soon, we hope. And the Easy Bottle Shop purchased the property, and they're paying for their building that is being built as we speak. And also on that same property there will be a 70-space unlimited long-term parking lot built there. And this is being done through SPLOST. So when downtown parking is heavy downtown, certainly they can move on down to the parking lot behind Adrian's and the Easy Ball Shop. Our utility mapping project has been completed. Water, gas, and sewer have been mapped through GPS in a geographical information system. And this is available on crews' smartphones in the field. 80 locations of infrastructure during emergency and non-emergency situations. Of course, Madison Natural Gas Utility is expanding services to the West Morgan, Bostwick area. This expansion will make natural gas available to 300 existing houses, 13 poultry houses, and the Bostwick Cotton Gin community. So I'm hoping that this community is excited about what's going on in that community. Talking about housing, and as we know, we continue to talk about affordable homes in our community, and we will continue to work on that so our people will have a decent and economic place to live. Wellbridge, a continuum of care development with 250 plus units. And in the future, a 24/7 care facility is finished with phase 1 and more than 50% occupied. That's good news for our community. Parallel Housing Inc. and Water has begun construction of the Canaan Crossing. This is a 60 townhouse for workforce housing. And hopefully this will be ready for occupancy in February of 2022. And if you have a chance, and if you know why this project is being built, I urge you to take a trip down Marsh Street, around Pearl Street to Wheat Street to see the progress that is being made on this facility. And it's going to be very nice and very affordable for our community. And Madison, Georgia initiative for our community housing team has also secured another $306,006 grant money. And this grant will continue to improve modern single family housing stock and bring these homes up to code. This also addresses another 8 to 10 houses in the target area, leaving less than a dozen of the initial 75 homes that we first started on. Substandard living condition unit left to bring up the area. Recent zoning modification have allowed the introduction of more loft housing in downtown Madison. And we're going to continue to see buildings in our downtown having loft houses, and this is going to be a live, play, and work area community as we are right now. And Madison with limited permission for micro units and some ground floor rear elevation loft. Now downtown now has 5 new units and expects about 25 more to come online in 2022. And also I'd like to add that behind the new Adrian's and the Easy Ball Shop, Tangier, in the future, there will be a 30-unit apartment building built. This would be upstairs living and also downstairs office space. So Madison is growing continually like leaps and bounds, and especially in our gateway area. In our public facilities, new restrooms at Hill Park are in a redesign process to lower their costs after initial bids were outside the budget range. These restrooms are designed to be the template of future construction in Wellington and also Gilbert Parks. The restoration and rehabilitation of the historic City Hall, which turned 80 years old on last year, is currently in the bidding process, and the work is anticipated to start this fall. And hopefully that we'll have a ribbon cutting early next year, and you'll be able to come by to see the rehabilitation of our old City Hall, bringing it back to its original place, the way it was built 80 years ago. A quality of life initiative, Lambert Park, Main Street, and College Drive is complete, including landscape, picnic areas, walking track, and public art. A graphic of Morgan County and sculpture piece to be dedicated late summer. And we would also like to thank a new donor for playground equipment that has been ordered and will be installed earlier than anticipated. Creation of the dog park area is portioned in the planning phase. The Martin Todd lot on Whitehall Street is complete. The park, which honors the educational professionals and specifically educator Marie Bash Martin legacy. This will be dedicated on September the 11th. Also, the mile of the Madison Greenway has been planned, and the Green Space Conservation Commission continues to seek grant funding to build this first leg of an eventual 26-mile trail. This trail is going to keep all of us healthy if we take advantage of it. Systems in and around Madison. The Public Arts Commission has plans to expand Madison's collections of public art, both permanent and temporary, over the coming years. Now, this has been and hopefully continue to be supported by the Building the Arts Program, which solicits donations from new developments and redevelopments as a buy-in in the community. Of course, the DDA is working with the Madison Morgan Community Garden. This is a new nonprofit to create the Fifth Street Community Garden. The Madison Community Garden has raised $8,500 for site development. And Bob has already told you about job developments and redevelopment in his report. But just from the city standpoint, just let me say that a new car wash facility is nearing completion on Eatonton Road. Main Street Vet is currently constructing the new pet boarding facility. On Lions Club Road, both Alliance, Corrugated, and Display and BI production works are in the midst of substantial expansion. The Board of Education versus an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Madison and its DDA has kept our local surplus school property from being boarded up like so many schools. The DDA signed an agreement with a higher ed institution, Georgia College, to expand their campus to the area. And just let me say to the Board of Education and the board members that our city, thank you for allowing the city to work on this school system. And as you know, this is probably one of the first schools in the Black community that has not been voted up. So this is a plus for our community, and great things continue to happen in the Canyon area as well. The city with the Boys and Girls Club are awaiting notice on their application for a $500,000 CDBG grant to facilitate upgrade and expansion for club facilities. And also plans for the Pearl Verde Alumni Museum are underway. An entrepreneur center is opening soon with 3 of 10 units already leased. So just to say again that Madison continues to make progress in the way that I think our community is enjoying this progress. And I urge all of you to stop downtown to see the businesses that's going on downtown. And Hancock Street, let me say, is coming back alive again. So thank you, Velda. Thank our community partners for what they do. It is my prayer that we will continue to work together as one Morgan. Thank you. And now we will go, I believe, to, if I can find my notes here, state of healthcare, Ralph Costello.
Yes, sir. And this is Megan Morris, and I'm actually going to be speaking this morning first, and then Ralph will close us out with a couple of comments. Trying to make sure y'all can see my screen. Are y'all able to see my screen yet?
No.
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay. How about there? Does that work?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So just touching on Adam's comment about resilience, I think your local healthcare system has truly shown that we have been resilient and strong during this past year and caring for the healthcare needs of our community. And not only have we been able to do that, but we've been able to grow our services and during that time. And that's one of the things I want to share with you guys real quickly this morning. I'm going to zip as quick as I can through some slides, and then Ralph will close us out with a few comments. But we've added a lot of specialties here in the last year. First of all, Dr. David Sokoloff, he's with East Atlanta Gastroenterology Associates, and he has office visits at Morgan Medical as well as does procedures here in our surgical suites. Dr. Joseph Poole with Piedmont Heart Institute. He is here at the hospital on Thursdays. He's also very involved in our nuclear medicine. So cardiac stress testing, echoes, those are things that you can get done right here locally. Dr. Gary Walton is with Athens Area Urology. He is here on Tuesdays. He also does procedures in our operating suites. Dr. Jeff Williams is with Athens Gastroenterology Association. He is, like the rest of these physicians, board certified in his area of gastroenterology. He's here for office visits on Mondays, and he also does procedures in our surgical suites. And you'll see those, the OR rooms are staying quite busy to the point that we actually have many days now where we're operating out of both of our surgical suites. Dr. Shane Smith with Athens Orthopedics. He visits here in Madison on Monday and Wednesday. He is still over at the Morgan Memorial Hospital campus, but he is able to do procedures here at Morgan Medical when they're requested. Dr. Christopher Minke with Da Vinci Foot and Ankle, a podiatrist. He is here quite often. So he's here on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. He also does surgical procedures in our operating room. Something that's new to Madison that many of you probably are not aware of is plastic surgery. We actually have 2 plastic surgeons who are currently operating in Madison, and they're bringing in a lot of patients from outside of the community who just yesterday I actually spoke with a family member, and he was here pretty much for the day. So he went downtown and did some shopping, had a meal, that type of thing. So economic development is coming as a result of the services that we're here sharing here at the hospital. But Dr. Lugo is with the Aesthetic Center for Plastic Surgery out of Macon. She would like to do office visits in Madison in the future as we are able to provide additional space. We are pretty full right now with our upstairs space for those rotating specialists, but there are plans in place. She is doing procedures in our surgical suites currently. Dr. John Hurto is our other plastic surgeon. He's with Hurto Plastic Surgery out of Athens. He does office visits here on Tuesdays. He's also doing procedures in our operating room. And then our newest specialist that has joined up with us is Dr. Marty Gallo. He's with Gallo Center for Women's Health, and you'll see that he's board certified in obstetrics and gynecology, but I do want to clarify that he will be doing gynecology procedures here, gynecological visits and procedures here in our surgical suite. So no intentions to deliver babies on a regular basis, although we are capable if the emergency need arises. Dr. Josh Blackman, he is our primary radiologist. He's with ProDocs. He and his staff read images remotely 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He is here on Mondays for diagnostic mammograms because, ladies, we know nobody likes to have to wait and we don't want to have to call you back. So he's able to sit here and make sure we've got everything we need before we send you out. He's also doing breast, liver, and kidney biopsies, as well as fluoroscopy and arthrograms here at Morgan Medical. And our newest equipment is actually a stereotactic breast biopsy system. We've been using that for about a month now. And we've been told the neighboring facilities, when patients need that biopsy, it's taking anywhere from 2 to 3 months to get scheduled. If we determine that you need a biopsy, we get it scheduled and get you in within a week. That's pretty awesome for patient satisfaction and quality of care. And then lastly, we do have a hospital-owned primary care practice. This is Morgan Physician Services, open upstairs at the hospital with Dr. Robert Pepper is the family practice provider. And then Danielle Cannington is our nurse practitioner. So if any of you are in the need or looking for local primary care, they are accepting new patients, and I would encourage you to check them out. Just the other couple of quick updates. One of the things we've implemented in the last year is we've expanded our hospitalist program. We're no longer using a mid-level on our floor. We are using a physician. So we'll have a physician at all times in the ER, and we have a second physician at all times on the floor taking care of our inpatients. And those physicians actually stay here on site, have an apartment here, sleep here, so that they can be called all hours of the night to care for the needs of those patients. It's been huge for patient satisfaction. It has also been very helpful for our local primary care providers in freeing them up to take care of patients in the office. But increased quality of care and patient satisfaction with expanded capabilities. We actually have patients coming out of surgery now who are being admitted for inpatient oversight, no longer just outpatient surgeries. And it's allowed our ER physicians to improve their focus on just caring for the ER patients as well. And then one of our latest additions that has come out as part of the COVID-19 funding and what we've been seeing is the Light Strike germ zapping robots. Our staff have affectionately named them McDreamy and McSteamy. I'll show you a picture of what one looks like in our next slide, but these robots go in behind our environmental services team. Once they've cleaned a room, they come in behind them and clean as well. They take care of 99.99% of SARS-CoV-2, 95% of C. diff spores, 99.9% of MRSA, and 100% of VRE. So it's just another added protection to make sure that we're getting those rooms cleaned properly and we're not causing any hospital-acquired infections here. So with that, this just shows you a picture of what those robots look like. That's actually back in our OR, but we use those machines house-wide. And with that, I'm going to turn the program over to our CEO, Mr. Ralph Castillo, for some closing comments.
Oh, thank you, Megan, and good morning, y'all. Just a couple of more minutes, folks, and I will relinquish the microphone. As you can see from this presentation, the hospital continues to grow, and we are actively making investments in service lines, equipment, and staff. The business, patient care, quality, and operational models we launched to both facilitate the new hospital being built, as well as managing it once we got here, continues to yield very positive results. Did you know that we have processed 4,570 COVID tests with just over 17% positivity rate? Did you know that we did the first laparoscopic surgical procedure 2 weeks ago in a couple of decades? Did you know that over the last few months, as Megan has said, we have often run both operating rooms simultaneously? Did you know we saw 62 patients in the emergency room in the last 24 hours and are on our way to seeing well over 1,100 patients this month? This would be our busiest month ever. It matters that there is a hospital in Morgan County. Morgan Medical Center is in a rapid growth cycle, and the hospital authority is all in for the future of healthcare in this community. We are not content, nor is it smart business, to ease up now that we have the new hospital. Fiscal year 2021 ended on 30 June, and the audit field work will begin in October for a December delivery date of audited financial statements. As we typically do, we practice conservative financial management, and as such, we anticipate 2021 results to be positive. That being the case, this will be the 7th year in a row with an overall positive bottom line. On behalf of the hospital authority and the staff of Morgan Medical Center, we thank you for the opportunity to participate this day. Bill, I yield to you, and thank you and your team for the work you do for us every day.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here this morning and speak with all of y'all. I think every time we've had one of these forums, probably one of my main topics has been discussing personnel issues, just the fact that we've not been able to hire people to work in law enforcement. But I actually am very happy to say that we have made progress in that area. We've recently hired 3 new officers that are currently working with the Madison Police Department, and we're down to just 1 vacancy. So we are actually ecstatic about that. And I would like to extend my appreciation out to City Manager David Nunn, the Mayor and Council for graciously approving a budget increase to help with salaries and benefits for current law enforcement officers, and to help us advertise and recruit law enforcement officers who actually have some time service with other agencies. One of the officers we actually just hired has 23 years in another agency, so we're blessed to have people like that that are coming aboard that already have experience and are able to hit the ground running. So thank you, Mayor, Council, and David Nunn for the support for that. We are still 1 short. We do have people that are in the hopper that we're looking at right now, going through the process. So hopefully that vacancy will be filled soon. However, with all the talk from the county manager and from the mayor about all the growth that's going on in Morgan County and the city of Madison, with that, we have a need for more officers. So as soon as we get filled with this position, I'm sure shortly I'll be trying to work on getting some additional positions for the Madison Police Department to continue helping with our community and the safety of our community. As it happened this past Saturday, I was invited by Council Member Kerry Peters Reed to come to a roundtable discussion about some of the needs that Morgan County has. And it was several hours, so I can't go into everything that we discussed, but what the intent was to try to identify some of the more important problems and issues that we have throughout the county. And the number one topic was mental health and what to do to help people in our areas that have mental health problems. And to be honest, law enforcement is a big struggle for us to deal with mental health cases. And I'm sure most of y'all don't even realize the process, but many times if we deal with someone like that, we have to wait on a doctor to come from Augusta. It may take 2 or 3 days for them to get here and do an evaluation to decide what type of help this person needs. So that is a struggle for law enforcement and for our community. You know, the jail staff sometimes has to deal with these people, and many times we end up having to take the person to the hospital until we can get evaluations done and then decide what help is needed for these people. So I'm very excited that this has been a good, an important topic for the community, and I look forward to seeing what can be done. And this is faith-based. We had speakers that are ministers from other places that came in, and they've been doing this in their communities, so they're somewhat of an expert to be able to come in and help our community get this off the ground and get going. It obviously takes funding, but the important thing that I saw in all this is that we do realize this doesn't need to be a short-term fix. What we need to find out is what can we do to help these people long-term, because just to put a Band-Aid on it and put these people back out in the community is not helping the situation. But I feel like we are on the right road to using this to help our community and people with mental health needs. And I'm excited to know that there were so many people in our community that came to this meeting. There will be a follow-up meeting, so I'll encourage the community to pay attention to anything in the newspaper about follow-up meetings, because one of the important things is going to be resources and who can provide certain resources to assist in this area. So thank you, Kerry Peters Reed, for inviting me to this meeting, and I'm glad I was there and able to attend, and look forward to future progress with this. And I will now turn it over to Robert Mark.
Thank you, Bill. I've got just a few things I wanted to go over, and Veldy, I'd like to say that, you know, the Morgan County Sheriff's Office did view the back to school rally as a big success, and we appreciate everybody's work on that. A couple of the things we've got going currently, we've started the process for the 2021 empty stocking fund. Believe it or not, that process starts very early in the year, trying to get it wound up for the Christmas season. We would also like to talk about the 9/11 anniversaries, the 20th anniversary that's coming up this year on September the 11th. We're putting together a program out here at the Sheriff's Office to just remember that event and just recognize it. We've got our Faith in Blue weekend coming up. It's coming up in October. We're currently discussing different community projects that the Sheriff's Office would like to get involved in to celebrate the Faith in Blue weekend. Currently, we have 104 inmates in custody. We have 3 of those cases are murder cases. Our staffing levels on the road are full, court services full, school resource officers are full. Our investigators are full, our administrative staff is full, and our jail has 1 current opening for a jail detention officer. Recently, we've reassigned or actually added extra duties to some of our court personnel. We've got an officer that follows up on all domestic violence cases that works out of the courthouse. And then we have another one of the officers that handles all the sex offender registry cases that are coming through. And both of them are working dual roles in the courthouse, both with security and then also following up with these extra duties. We're working with the SANE program, which is the Sexual Assault Nursing Program, to try to establish a location here in Morgan County so that our victims of a sexual assault can actually be examined here in Morgan County instead of having to go outside the county to get that examination done. We touched on the Sheriff's Association about their move here to Morgan County, and I'm personally very excited about that. They hope to be breaking ground in the month of September on the property out there, and we're excited to see that project progress. I'd like to say 4 thank yous, if y'all don't mind. I would like to, first of all, say thank you to the Board of Commissioners and to the Manager's Office for all the support that they show the Sheriff's Office in not only getting our employees their benefits appropriate, but also getting equipment that keeps all my officers safe. And I appreciate that. To Dave and Bert, thank y'all very much for what y'all do. Y'all have supported law enforcement on a statewide level, and we really appreciate it. I also like to thank our partners, the City of Madison, for what they do. It is a true partnership between us, and we couldn't do it without them. Finally, I'd like to say a personal thank you. I'd like to thank 98 residents of Morgan County who took us over the population level for Morgan County, getting us above 20,000. And that's because my salary is based on population, and I really appreciate it. But I will now turn it over to Representative Dave Belton. Thank you all very much.
Well, I'm glad we were able to get the sheriff a raise. That's awesome. Can y'all hear me? Thank you very much, Veldy, for doing this. This is one of my favorite events I do all year long, and I really appreciate everyone participating. As you know, I'm a numbers kind of guy, so I'm going to go through some numbers. I hope it's not too boring, but I love what Adam says also about resiliency. You know, in general, Georgia has been very resilient. This has been a tough year, obviously, for everyone, but Georgia has come out of this better than most states. 2021, we had a record setting in investments in jobs and economic development. It's hard to believe, but we brought in $11 billion of new investments from corporations. $2 billion of that was from foreign corporations, mostly from Korea, Germany, and Switzerland. We've added 33,000 new jobs. A record projects are up by almost 50%, 5% above the record ever. We've had about about average problems with COVID, Georgia has, but yet we're the 5th lowest in jobs lost, 5th best in jobs regained. And the great thing, one of the great things about all these new jobs coming in, 33,000 new jobs from this year, is 75% of them are outside Atlanta. So it's not just Atlanta getting all those jobs, it's actually outside of Atlanta. And of course, for the 9th year in a row, we've won the best state in the nation to do businesses. That's a big deal. 9 years in a row. It's never been done before 2 years in a row. We've done it 9 years in a row. Dr. Cole said he wasn't going to brag about his schools, but I am going to brag about his schools. We have the best education record ever in Georgia history. Graduation rates are up 28% over the last couple of years to a whopping 82%. Morgan County is 10% better than that. It's almost 94% is what we're expecting here, 93, 94%. Georgia beats the national average, believe it or not, in the SAT and the ACT for many years in a row. We're 13th best in the nation in AP scores. Morgan County had almost 50 AP scholars. That's a record for Morgan County for AP scholars. And it's hard to believe, but 75% of the kids from Morgan County who apply to UGA get in. That's amazing. 3/4 of Morgan County folks who apply to UGA get in, about 25% of Georgia Tech as well. And Georgia is the 13th best now in K-12 scores overall. So we're doing very, very, very well in education. I know you want to talk about a little bit about census data. I've gone through the numbers a bit. The district that I represent will probably get a little bit smaller because we've grown so much. Overall, Georgia grew about 10.6% from $9.6 million. I'm sorry, 9.6 million people in 2010 to about 10.7 million now. So we're the Southeast was the biggest growth area of any in the nation. Georgia and South Carolina grew about 10.6%. That's about the same. We're the 13th best in the nation in growth for the last decade. Alabama is about 5, Tennessee is about 9, North Carolina is about 9, Florida is about 15. The 7 best states in the nation, they're all over the place. Florida, Texas, North Dakota, Colorado, Utah, Nevada, and Washington were all above 15%. Oregon and Arizona and us were about 10%, and South Carolina as well. So, but overall, the Southeast had more growth than anyone else. Amongst the counties, Morgan County grew about 12%, over 20,000 people. Newton County is the same, about 12%. Walton was a slightly higher, about 15%. Putnam and Jasper, about 4% apiece. Greene County grew quite a bit, 18%. And Oconee grew 27%. Oconee doubled the growth of Morgan County. The state budget, I'm happy to say, is a lot bigger than it was last year. $27.7 billion overall. We added $1.3 billion, or about 5%. And I'm very proud to say that 90% of all the new money went to either education or healthcare. So education was really the big winner in healthcare this year in the budget. Overall, 53% of the state budget goes to children, either to education or healthcare of some sort. The feds gave education an extra $2 billion last year from COVID. Healthcare got an extra $1 billion. And we've also put a huge effort in added $30 million for rural broadband, $40 million for rural development, and about $200 million to transportation. Georgia right now is building and doing more road work than any state in the nation. Just a couple of bills we've done the last couple of years I think are very important. The hate crime bill, we got that done. Human trafficking bill, repealed the citizen's arrest, a horrible incident with Ahmaud Arbery. Maternal mortality bill, lactating mothers and nursing homes. We made better standards there. The education, we reduced the number of tests a lot. I was a champion of that. We did a vaping bill as well as an ETO bill. Adoption, we made that a lot better. Metro transit doesn't affect us much, but that was a big deal. Texting while driving, we got that done. And my personal thing is the military bills. We've added 54 new military bills in the last couple of years, and to help make sure that Georgia is the most military-friendly state in the nation. Another thing I want to talk about is that JDA. You know, it's really been amazing. I think that we ought to make a statue of Alan Verner and Andy Ainsley for all the just the pure wealth that's coming into Morgan County, Newton, of course, Jasper and Walton. Takeda, a $2 billion Facebook is going to be investing $84 billion in Facebook. That's amazing. Three Ring Studios is active, is filming. That's called Cinelise now. That's in Newton County. That's huge. Have you been out the Hazel Branch Road? It's amazing what they're doing. They're making movies left and right. I think they're full. That's great for our area. And you know, we a long time ago we put about $1.4 million into the JDA, and we've already made that up. And everything else from here is pure profit. We got $1 million check a couple months ago, and overall, once the bill is finished up, we're going to be getting about $1.5 million from Facebook, as well as 700 jobs. And then the Takeda will be getting about $800,000 a year and about 1,300 jobs. So the JDA has been a great benefit to us. Lastly, I'd like to say, I really want to thank three different people. One thing is our healthcare workers. The hospital's been unbelievable. I've been there personally. I just, especially y'all sound like brilliant people, the commissioners, when y'all made that new hospitals, especially with COVID. I mean, it's been tough, and I think the hospital and the healthcare workers have done a great job. I'm really so proud of our teachers. We were in class the whole year this year. It's amazing what our MoCo teachers are doing. And I just want to thank them for that. And they're in there with these kids, and kids are not always, they're not social distancing as much as we hope probably, but they're doing the job. And I think we're going to reap a lot of benefits. And finally, to our law enforcement, it's been a tough year this year. I really pray for y'all. I back the blue, and I hope everyone else does too. So it's an honor in my life to serve y'all in the State House, and I sure appreciate it. Thank you, Veldy.
Thank you all so much for all of your updates and sharing with us today. I told Veldy yesterday, this is probably my favorite meeting of the year that we do, because we just get to hear just how great our community is, and how everybody, I think every single speaker today use the word together, and being part of the community and working together. And that's really what it takes, and that's really what Family Connections is about, is being, as Veldy mentioned, that community catalyst. I also heard every single speaker use the word increased, and in a good way, that we are increasing services, we're increasing the beauty of Morgan County, we're increasing jobs, we're increasing services in our healthcare, and all of those are just really important for us to be aware of and to really brag on, increasing enrollment in our school system and our population. So this is just really great information, and hearing about different initiatives can help us as a community to grow and to improve, and also can really empower Family Connection to be involved in these initiatives, our collaborative partners to be involved. And so I think that we're on the uphill slide, I hope, moving forward this year. And again, just really appreciate all of the information and your time today. Veldy, is there any final comments that you would like to share?
No, I don't have anything extra to share other than, again, we appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thank you so much for the hard work that you do. We know that none of us, I believe, are in this for the money. We're in it for the passion and the heart that we have for our community, for our county, for our families, for our children here in Morgan County. And I just want to thank you just for being who you are. Continue to the great work that you do. We appreciate you, and we continue to look forward to serving beside you.
Yes, thank y'all. We hope everybody has a great rest of the day and stay dry. Thank y'all.
Thank you, everyone. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.